It's now 1 o'clock. We'll start our meeting by honoring our country with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Welcome to our February 22nd meeting. First item on the agenda is Attorney Matt Shipman.
Okay, other than, the documents that are kind of on the agenda later today, that's the Surveyor agreement, bridge inspection amendment, those things, which I have reviewed and are appropriate at this point. I don't have anything else to report, unless you guys have questions for me.
No, we don't.
Okay.
All right. Next up is Jenny Stevenson for the Surveyor agreement and bridge inspection amendment.
So the bridge inspection contract amendment is from NDOT. Actually, they're requesting that extra wording be put into the contract that was originally signed back in September with engineering resources to do bridge inspections. And that's just extra wording regarding load rating factors and those being entered into the bridge system. And I think Matt said that he already reviewed that, so.
Yeah, I looked at it. I mean, it's NDOT's making us put it in there. It's just specifications really that are changing. I don't know that we have the option to say no.
Right, yeah.
They're paying for it, so.
Yeah.
But there's not much to it either, other than just changing kind of that language.
I'd make a motion that we approve the designation of contracted engineer to perform certain functions of the county surveyor pursuant to IC 36927-30D.
Second.
We skipped around a little bit there.
Yeah.
The first one that Jenny had mentioned was the bridge amendment, bridge inspection amendment, which is this.
It's titled contract
Amendment number one. Okay.
We can do them out of order. It's just,
Yeah.
for purposes of the minutes, I think she kind of had introduced the other.
Yeah, I'll take the motion in second and we'll open this one up for discussion. Can you?
Yeah, I can explain it. So as part of the, the changeover that's happened recently, currently on staff, the county does not have an engineer. Dane Drew, I think Dane's here, but Dane is our elected surveyor, and the elected surveyor can either designate a county employee who is an engineer to perform those services that really Drainage Board needs done, or Dane can hire somebody to do it. And because we don't currently have somebody on staff, the commissioners went through the process of finding an engineer consultant that could do that job. The Drainage Board this morning approved that agreement. Dane also consented to it. And so this agreement just kind of memorializes what we've done. I think it's kind of best to put it all in writing, and that's the effect of it. We did have a good meeting with them this morning, and I think they're going to be helpful. So they were at our Drainage Board meetings.
Do you have anything to add?
Nope, that's, like you said, the Drainage Board and Dane both signed that today, so being brought to you then.
Great. Any further discussion?
Was it the amendment that was presented to us this morning
No,
in the Drainage Board meeting? I just wanted, okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Didn't remember.
that is a different agreement. Do you have Chad has the one that we did this morning is the one that we're currently talking about. That bridge amendment agreement is the second agreement.
Okay, gotcha.
I know.
I see what.
Now we're confusing each other.
I thought we had gone back to this. and
Yeah,
you had tabled our, okay.
Since it was a first and second.
Okay.
So I have a motion and a second on the floor for the designation of contracted engineer to perform certain functions of county surveyor pursuant to Indiana Code 36-9-27-30D. Is there any further discussion on this? So I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. And opposed, the same.
Now we're ready for the road inspection.
So then the conversation started with this contract amendment number 1. So is there any further discussion on this? This is for PRI Engineering Resources Incorporated.
They're currently already under contract with us to do this. It's just
Yeah.
amending it because NDOT's telling us we need to add this language in.
Right, and they've done a great job with our bridge inspections, as far as I know. So I don't see any issue with this at all. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the contract amendment number 1.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Anything further? All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. And that's passed unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, Katy Fry.
If you could come up and speak on behalf of this, I will have a question. It's not necessarily within our policy.
Yeah, so just, I guess I could take it on. That's fine. So we, Katy and I had a conversation, and really there wasn't any consistency on what we were doing with mailboxes. If people were calling, we were by and large just replacing mailboxes, right? But some of that is really out of our control, because if you get a heavy wet snow, the velocity of the snow could take out a mailbox. And oftentimes those posts might be rotten at the ground, or they might have already been in disrepair, and just the velocity of the heavy wet snow hitting it knocks the mailbox over. And we would just pay for that. So I think with this policy, what this does is it says if we strike a mailbox, if we directly hit a mailbox, we're going to replace it. We're going to do the right thing, and we'll replace it. But the cost on that, our portion, would not exceed $100. And if it's something out of our control, like the velocity of snow or something, then we're no longer going to pay that. And this is a policy that would help us with being consistent, with being fair, and doing the same thing for every constituent, not just doing something different for everyone.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think what they missed, in case no one else heard, when our county guys are out plowing the roads, I think it was the only
Sure.
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
If it, say like the snow gets pushed up in your mailbox, like he said, the post was rotten, it may fall over. So the blade has to actually come in contact with your mailbox for the county to replace it. So I'll make a motion that we approve the procedures for replacing mailboxes.
And I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Anything further? I know, Matt, you've had a chance to review this, and
Yeah, and I agree with what you said. Consistency is always the best. It makes Katie's job easier because she's got to set guidelines to follow. And from a legal standpoint, I mean, it's just a policy anyway. So, but I think it's better than kind of the willy-nilly approach potentially we had taken previously. So.
right. Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the guidelines for mailbox replacement. And I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. And opposed, the same. It's unanimous. Next item on the agenda is the regional elected officials agreement. I did not bring that, but Teresa and I had a chance to meet with Edmund O'Neill from the Economic Growth Region 3, which at one point, this his card would have said work one. It's the same office. And in our conversation with him with that agreement, what it is stating is just that as the county commissioners, we acknowledge that they're working in our county, and it's basically like a nod of approval saying that we're glad you're here. We're glad you're doing the work. It's all state funded. They're not asking for anything. And really, it was a productive meeting where even he's agreed to start sending us data and information on unemployment rates on a regular basis and just some other information that I think we would find useful. It's something that counties throughout the third district, throughout the region, I think the way he explained it, their District 3 is a little bit different than like third congressional district by a couple counties. So they don't have Kosciuszko, but they do have, help me out, there was a county to the south that they,
Grant.
yeah, Grant. So just, I didn't see any issue with this at all, but I just wanted to be transparent that we met with him and that I'm in favor of it.
Basically just saying, yes, you can come provide free services to people in our county with employment issues, whether that be the employee or the employer. So
I'd make a motion that we approve the regional elected officials agreement.
second,
Okay, I have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand, and opposed the same, and that's unanimous. Next up on the agenda is Nathan Bilger with the plat approval.
Good afternoon. Have one 2-lot plat for your consideration today. Tentative name, well, not tentative name. Name is Taintworth Farms on the Eel. This is located about a quarter mile east of the West County line down along the Eel River, just south of State Road 14 on 950 West. The plat consists of 2 lots. This was before the County Plan Commission at their December meeting. They did have a couple of changes that are addressed on the plat. Most notably, the original proposal included a very large drainage easement, which was found to be not necessary. Legal drain easement, if there were to be one along the Eel River, there isn't right now, but if there were, that would be sufficient. So they reduced that, removed that. And I believe there was a, the name did change. It was Taintworth Farms on the Eel all as one. Now it's Taintworth Farms with on Eel as a subtitle. So those were the changes that came from the Plan Commission again in December.
Any questions for Nathan?
and then
I'd make a motion that we approve the Taintworth Farms plat approval.
second,
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. And that passed unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the commercial lease space. Has everyone had a chance to review this? Matt, you've seen this lease, right?
Yeah, it appears to me to be the exact same lease that we're currently under. It's just an extension from another year. I did look at it in comparison to the previous one and didn't see anything different.
Was the price the same?
It looked to me like it was, but I believe it was.
Okay. So it didn't go up at all from last year?
I thought it was the same, but it didn't, I guess it didn't look to the penny.
I'm in favor of passing and approving this, but it does bring up a question why, when it's an agreement between the sheriff's department and Reef, why the sheriff's department wouldn't budget for that, why they wouldn't have a line item budgeted and go into their budget session every year with knowing that that's going to be something that they have to pay for. I think in conversations with some people that were involved when we first started this, the year that the lease was first signed, the commissioners agreed to help, but I think it was their intention then that the department would start to budget for that and pay for that out of their budget moving forward. So
What's that coming out of, Tiffany?
sure.
As a line item for,
I'm sorry, it was coming out of CEDA, correct? And we changed it this year.
So was this in our commissioner budget? I don't have it, our budget right in front of me for this year. I mean, it was already in there.
And all I'm saying, and I'm fine with that. All I'm saying is it might be more appropriate than for that line item to be in the sheriff's budget and for the sheriff to pay this lease. I mean, it would just be trading line items, right? It just seems like it'd be more appropriate and more clean that way, in my mind. Yeah.
Thank you. I'll make a motion that we approve the commercial lease as presented for this year, with Tiffany letting them know that we'd like it moved to their budget for 2023.
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. And that is also unanimous. The next item on the agenda is a facilities request. I have a facilities request from Joanne Bird. And this is for the Veterans Marathon. It's something they do every year. They're asking for the courthouse lawn northwest corner. The dates on this are November 11th and 12th, or 11th through the 12th. What they would have is a tent house for packet pickup. And then there's another tent, a separate tent for food, for snacks, soups for the runners. It looks all in order. Like I said, it is a reoccurring event.
And Cammie, I don't know if you looked at last year's request. Is this basically the same exact? Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the facilities request as presented for the Veterans Marathon.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Anything further? I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. And that passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is payroll and accounts payable claims approval.
I looked at accounts payables and everything looked normal. Didn't see any huge issues in there.
And I looked at payroll and there were no issues in that either. So I'll make a combined motion that we approve payroll and accounts payable claims.
Second,
I have a motion and a second to approve the payroll and accounts payable claims. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? And that passed unanimously. And the next item on the agenda is our previous meeting minutes approval. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes?
Yes, I have.
I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
second,
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. Opposed, the same. That's unanimous. Is there anything that anyone would like to add today? Anything from the public? Matt, do you have anything else?
No, just good job, record time.
Auditor.
Efficient meeting.
Anything to add? Commissioner Shrimp?
I did have one thing that I'd like to bring forward is we do have a letter from the Mayors and Commissioners Caucus for our caucus dues for 2022, and that's $1,500. I think it's well worth it. Teresa is our representative for that, but
Yeah, so the Mayors and Commissioners Caucus, basically it's everybody in the region, the mayors and the commissioners get together and they figure out how they can work together. We also do some lobbying down at the State House that affects counties and cities. So that's wonderful. And also just coming together and sort of brainstorming on how we can all work together as a region. So I think it's a small price to pay for what we get out of it. So.
I don't think we need a vote on it.
So I think we've got that budgeted, so. Commissioner Green. Anything to add?
Just that we are working ahead on the jail. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys have all been keeping up on it or the people that are watching online. But unfortunately, our jail is extremely overcrowded. We have many, many issues. This is nothing that we want to spend money on, but unfortunately, we have to. It's not a fun project, so we're just trying to get it finished so we can be in compliance. So just, I guess, look for some updates on that as well.
I have just a couple of things. Yesterday started Emergency Management Agency Appreciation Week. Our EMA director is Amy Biggs, and we're really proud of her. I couldn't say enough great things about Amy and the work that she's done. And we've seen her just in recent weeks with these snow events and the amount of communication she provides to us and to all the township fire departments, to all the police agencies. I believe she even includes Dale Book at EDC because of emergency closures, road closures, and that sort of thing. We have a rock star EMA director, a shining star. We're really grateful to her. And so I just wanted to let the minutes show that. And also, we recently lost a pillar in our community, Jeff Geiger, who was so instrumental and I don't know how many youth in our community through being a board member for 4-H, the 4-H board for nearly 12 years and 7.5 years as board president. And always very involved and active at the 4-H fairgrounds. And you know, I would just say to continue to keep that family in your prayers. And it's a great community loss. And that's all I have. So with that being said, I'll adjourn the meeting. So you need still